They do the meetings at the department level and provide the facilities, check the facilities, providing to the students with the supervisor. The fourth one, the lab notebook. We started to ensure the lab notebook of each PhD students, each master students to write down and to hold the supervisory meetings. Before the joining, there was not a routine to hold the supervisory meeting. So a student was discussing the problems with the supervisor. But now we have started to regularly conduct the supervisory meeting and write down the problems and discussion in the lab notebook. The second thing is the ethical issue, especially in the social sciences. We formulated a committee under the headship of the Dean Faculty of Social Sciences. Now, every questionnaire to collect the data should be approved by the ethical committee. And we developed the procedure for the synopsis and the thesis evaluation. We formulated a committee and decided the marks, numerical evaluation. Then we decide either the student has successfully evaluated or not. Second last thing, as the government policy is also on digitalization. We started with the help of the data center and we developed a software for the Directorate of Advanced Study, and we scanned almost 2,500 files. I will show, and today I will request the worthy Vice Chancellor to inaugurate that software, and I will brief about the House about this software. I will request the worthy Vice Chancellor to enter, and we will go to the software. Sir, this software have 4 sections. We have the all record of the MSc and PhD student. We scan all the files, all the data, supervisory committee, discontinuation, even date of result and notification and the clearance. Just like MSc, we have developed the for PhD record. The one is the dashboard. We scanned all the agenda of the Advanced Study Research Board, journal circular, and the rule and regulation approved by the different bodies, and we save it in the soft form. After that, we will not keep the files in the physical form, maybe MSc honors or MSc student files. We will send back after scanning graduation, sent back to the chairman department, and PhD we will keep. अभी तक जो हमने स्कैन की हैं वो एमएससी की 1400 फाइल हैं, 780 फाइल हैं पीएचडी की। ये हमारे रिपोजिटरी में सबमिट हो चुकी हैं, वो सॉफ्ट फॉर्म में अवेलेबल हैं, और नेक्स्ट 1 or 2 ईयर में हम ऑल डाटा 690, 98, 1996 वी विल स्कैन एंड आवर डायरेक्टरेट ऑफ एडवांस्ड रिकॉर्ड विल बी इन डिजिटल फॉर्म। Sir, the events calendar which we are presenting today, Last year, due to COVID issues, some activities was not concluded. This year, we have planned till December 2021. In the first step, poster presentation होगी, MSc ऑनर्स, MPhil स्टूडेंट्स की, क्योंकि हमारे लास्ट ईयर में इनटेक सिर्फ चंद डिपार्टमेंट में थी, 6-7 डिपार्टमेंट में थी, उनकी जो अभी तक जो रिसर्च की है, जो उन्होंने मेथोडोलॉजी यूज की है, जो रिसर्च की पिक्चर्स होंगी, वो एक ऑलरेडी हमने सर्कुलेट किया हुआ है पोस्टर का स्टाइल, उसके ऊपर हम डिफरेंट डेट डिसाइड किए हैं। ये 22 फरवरी से स्टार्ट होगी और मार्च 8 तक रहेगी। ये हमारी सर एग्रीकल्चर के सेमिनार रूम में होगी और एक कमेटी होगी जो हर डिपार्टमेंट की एवेल्युएट करेगी और जो इसका सबसे अच्छा स्टूडेंट का होगा उसको हम सर्टिफिकेट भी देंगे, वर्दी वाइस चांसलर से ये दिलवाएंगे। नेक्स्ट एक्टिविटी होगी हमारी पीएचडी स्टूडेंट की, वो हमने उसको एरिड साइंस गाला 2021 के नाम से किया है। ये स्पोर्ट्स ग्राउंड में आम पीएचडी स्टूडेंट्स के लिए अरेंजमेंट की जाएगी। उधर 2 दिन की आम पीएचडी स्टूडेंट उधर अपना पोस्टर प्रेजेंटेशन करेंगे। उसके साथ हम कुछ मल्टीनेशनल सप्लायर कंपनी सिग्मा जस्ट लाइक उनको भी कहेंगे कि वो आप अपना उधर स्टॉल लगाएं। अगर और जैसे आईटी वालों के पास कोई प्रोजेक्ट है, कोई चीज़ डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन के लिए है, वो भी उधर करेंगे। ये 2 दिन की हमारी एक्टिविटी होगी, उसको भी एवेलुएट किया जाएगा। जिसका सबसे अच्छा पोस्टर होगा, रिसर्च होगी, उसको हम सर्टिफिकेट अवार्ड करेंगे। ये सब चीज़ें बेसिकली आप लोग फैकल्टी मेंबर्स की कोऑर्डिनेशन से होगा, एचओडीज की कोऑर्डिनेशन से होगा और डीन डायरेक्टर हजरात की कोऑर्डिनेशन से होगा। तो मेरी आप लोगों की रिक्वेस्ट होगी, जैसे आप पहले कोऑर्डिनेट कर रहे हैं इन इश्यूज पे, आप हमें और कोऑर्डिनेट करें और स्टूडेंट्स को हम एंगेज करें इनमें, रिसर्च एक्टिविटीज में, इनका हेल्दी कंपटीशन हो। कि जो हमारे स्टूडेंट को इशू है, खासतौर पर रिसर्च स्टूडेंट को डाटा एनालिसिस का, इसकी हम मिड जून में जैसे एग्जाम खत्म होंगे, स्टूडेंट जो थीसिस का सबमिशन की डेट से पहले हमको उनको ये 1 वीक की वर्कशॉप करवाएंगे और 1 वीक की साइंटिफिक रिपोर्ट राइटिंग में, जिसमें एब्स्ट्रैक्ट राइटिंग है, बाकी चीज़ें हैं, वो सब रिपोर्ट राइटिंग, इंग्लिश की टेक्निकल रिपोर्ट राइटिंग, जिसमें पेपर रिव्यू पेपर, वो 1 वीक की डिफरेंट फैकल्टीज की डिफरेंट टाइमिंग पे हम डिसाइड करेंगे। द लास्ट थिंग जिसके हम आज एक सेशन भी करवाएंगे टेक्निकल स्पीकर का, मैंने सर्कुलेट किया, बहुत अच्छा रिस्पांस आया फैकल्टी की तरफ से। काफ़ी टॉपिक्स थे जिनमें से यंग फ्रेश पीएचडी के 33 टॉपिक को चूज करके तकरीबन हर डिपार्टमेंट से एक टॉपिक चूज किया गया है। उसका टाइम शेड्यूल बना दिया गया है, डेट उसमें लिख दी गई है। तो आज हम जो सबसे पहले एग्रोनॉमी डिपार्टमेंट से स्टार्ट करेंगे, तो इसमें डॉक्टर मुख्तार साहब होंगे, असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर एग्रोनॉमी। ये हमें क्लाइमेट चेंज पे सेमिनार देंगे, 30 मिनट की इनकी प्रेजेंटेशन होगी। तो नेक्स्ट जैसे डिसाइड हुआ है डेट्स, उसमें कैलेंडर में डिसाइड है, मजीद मैं पीडीएफ में भी सर्कुलेट कर दूंगा फैकल्टी को। तो उस हिसाब से चेयरमैन हजरात, रिसर्च कोऑर्डिनेटर, मुतलका स्पीकर से कोऑर्डिनेट करके हम एग्रीकल्चर सेमिनार रूम पे कुछ फिजिकल कर लेंगे, कुछ जूम पे ले लेंगे। तो मेरा इन्हीं अल्फाज के साथ इख्तिताम। थैंक यू वेरी मच चीफ गेस्ट, वर्दी वाइस चांसलर, ऑनरेबल फैकल्टी मेंबर्स। अब मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा डॉक्टर मुख्तार अहमद, असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर ऑफ एग्रोनॉमी, वो आए और अपना लेक्चर दें सेमिनार के फर्स्ट सीरीज का।
In the name of Allah, most beneficial, merciful, Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Dr. Tasawwur Hayat, well-known mathematician, worthy Vice Chancellor, well-known scientist in the world of digital agriculture, chief guest, dean, directors, dear faculty members, dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Today, world is talking about the data science, and my talk about the today is again related to the data science. I hope all of you know very well about the omics and the artificial intelligence. So what is omics? It's basically generation of the data from DNA level to the RNA, and then to the RNA to the protein and to the metabolites, and then its expression in the form of different type of phenotypic level. So how that data can be traveled from high level to the lower level, for that you need to know about the omics at the different level of the omics. And for that there are different kind of softwares available. Well-known software is R. I hope all of you are very familiar with R. So you can use R, you can play with the data, and you can generate new novel information from the R. Then again, another important software is Python. So you can use that Python, and again, you can play with the data. And the other well-known is MATLAB. So it means if you got the data, you can connect that data, and that data can be multi-omics data. And from that multi-omics data, you can travel from higher hierarchy to the lower hierarchy, or from the lower hierarchy to the higher hierarchy, and gather information, and that information then generates some kind of meaningful answers. And that meaningful answers might not be possible with the help of brain. So if you're going to go to the language of the computer, then ultimately you need to know about the artificial intelligence. So nowadays, agricultural sciences, particularly agronomy, it's shifted to the digital world. It's not the traditional agronomy, it's moved to the digital agriculture. And why it's moved to the digital agriculture? Because of the different type of shocks. And that shocks are biotic and the abiotic shocks. So plants, all of you are dealing with the plants. Plants need to survive different kinds of conditions that can be biotic and the abiotic stress. And how they can survive under multiple stress, multiple factors, and that is because they have the lot of genes. And one of the best example of the genes that lead to the lot of variation, and you can take the example of simply turnip family, where the lot of variation leads to the different kind of the plant species. So it means we can select that information, we can generate that information, and we can work on the yield, because we need to ensure food security in future. We need to have the biomass production in future for the energy, and we need to have the ecosystem services for the future, because we don't want to give a bad climate to our future generation. We want to give a good climate to our future generation, and for that we need to focus on the ecosystem services also. So we need to work on the disease resistance and drought and heat tolerance, and also on the carbon dioxide efficiency, because carbon dioxide level is increasing day by day. If you want to see the today carbon dioxide level, you can go to the Mauna Loa Observatory. Like you can go to your mobile, you can go to the Mauna Loa Observatory, and you can check what is the carbon dioxide level today. It will be more than 400. Think about the previous 30 or 40 years. It was less. So if the carbon dioxide level is increasing, then what will be the impact of this carbon dioxide level on the plants? What's the impact on the different type of the biogeochemical cycling? What's impact inside the soil? So for that, we need to have good quality data. And then we also need to think about the nutrition, because nutrition is also a very, very important thing, because we need to have qualitative food also, not only the quantitative food. So if we want to go for the quantity, we need to think about the quality also. So for the future, we should focus on the quantity as well as the quality, and how we can do that. For that, we need to move to the precision agriculture. And it's good that already steps has been taken here in this university, and different kind of projects are there where the people are working to improve the precision agriculture. So let's go back, if you want to link to the development of the agriculture, you can link development of agriculture with the civilization of the human being. Because think about the crops earlier in the past time, and now think about the crops we got today. Like take the example of crop size. Now the crop size 7,000 years ago, and now see what's the crop size now. So it means the food we eat already, it comes from the plants already extensively modified from their original form. And that modification is due to the efforts of the scientists in the different fields. So it means even heritage varieties, they are extensively genetically modified. And then the crop production, it's 100% increase. Then population is also 100% increase. But the area is not too much increase because we don't have too much area. So it's just 20% increase. So it means we can't increase the area. We need to move to the sustainable intensification. So to go to the sustainable intensification, what we need to do, we need to use the modern tools. And in the modern tools, there are omics, there are different kind of phenotyping techniques. So there are focus on the digital agriculture so that we can have the good quality of the data. And then there is a flow, like we need to have the phenotypic analysis, then we can move to the genotypic analysis, then we can go to the association analysis. And in that case, you can have the PCA, you can have the cluster analysis, and you can go for the different kind of discoveries. So what's the challenge in the future? The challenge in the future will be to give the food to the billions of the population. And to give food to the billion of population, we need to invest on the agriculture sector practically, because we are so-called, we say that the agriculture is a backbone of the Pakistan, but sorry to say it's so-called backbone of Pakistan because investment in the agriculture sector is very less compared to the developed world or compared to the European countries. So we need to focus how we can improve our agriculture by minimizing the losses, and that losses are mainly coming from the weeds, different kind of pests, and different kind of the pathogens. So one of the another important risk to the agriculture, that is climate change, and that's there. So nobody can deny that. So if we want to tackle the issue of the climate change, we need to use the different kind of modeling as well as the omics techniques. And for that, I will quote here one of the work we completed under the umbrella of agriculture model inter-comparison project. And it was what will be the trend of the global wheat production under 1.5 and 2 degrees scenarios. So then again, another task we completed where we studied what will be the impact on the phenological stages of the crop as well as the crop yield under the elevated temperature. And you can see that the trend is the negative. Then again, another example I'm quoting here, we studied global wheat production. And for that, we moved to the 1.5 and 2 degree scenarios. And we studied what will be the impact of 1.5 and 2 degrees Celsius all over the globe, not only in the Pakistan. Then we moved to the quality. And for that, we have taken the multi-locational data across the globe and implemented different type of the models. And based upon that, we got the findings, and that's published, already available in the Global Change Biology. And if you want to read, you can go there, you can write this title and study in detail what we did about, and it's again the management of the big data. So it means we can play with the big data and we can use that big data to generate different kind of the information. So already for the future green revolution, we need to do more with the less, because again, repeating, we can't increase the area, but we can have good production with the already specified area. And for that, we need to manipulate the data. We need to use the data. We need to have the good quality data. And if we have the good quality data, we can feed that good quality data in the form of input. And then it goes different kind of analysis or different kind of mathematicals as well as statistical analytical approaches that works in the system. And then from that, we got the output. So it means this omics and artificial intelligence, it works under the loop of input, system, and the output. So again, if we got the big data, that is 8 V's, then we can use that big data to generate a meaningful information. And that meaningful information is only and only possible through the machine learning. So I will suggest dean directors to move our agriculture students to the programming, to the machine learning, to the deep learning, so that they can use that data to have the good valuable information that can generate good outcomes. So this artificial intelligence, again, it's kind of black box. In the black box, you can put the different type of inputs, and then that inputs goes kind of different multi-dimensional analysis. And that multi-dimensional analysis is not possible with the help of brain. And then there comes outcomes, and that outcomes can be generated, and that can be used for the meaningful or the problematic solutions to the different kind of problems. And for that, I will quote here one example from the agricultural world, that is APSIM. It's agricultural production system model. It's a world well-known model. You can use that model and you can have different kind of information from that model. So again, like the most important thing is we need to have the data. And for the data, we need to have the good quality sensors. That sensor can be in the air. That sensor can be in the plant canopy. That sensor can be in the soil. And from that sensor, if you got that data will be phenotypic data. And that phenotypic data, then you can use to accelerate plant production for the climate resilience. So then again, what is field omics? In this case, you can select a problem, and afterward, you can do omics as well as modeling. And with the help of that modeling, you can have the answers to the different kind of problems. And that problems, then you can solve with the help of these deep learning techniques. Then again, field phenomics bring opportunities for the accelerated production. And here I will quote one example of Yara sensor. This Yara sensor is well known, used in the Europe. So if we have kind of industrial stakeholders, they can work on the building of the sensors, then ultimately we can use that sensor for the different kind of plant diseases detection, as well as the production of biomass traits, or in general, we can say that we can use these techniques to design different kind of ideotypes. Then again, I will quote here one example of the NDVI. We use this NDVI in the Swedish University of Agriculture Sciences and got the data. So with the help of this NDVI, you can have you can know about the status of the crop, is it healthy or not healthy. And you can also use this NDVI trend to get the total biomass. Then another example we use this Yara sensor again in Swedish University. And we use this hyperspectral radiometer, which is called Yara sensor, to get the information about the biomass. Then you can also get the information about the biomass from the satellites. People from the remote sensing are sitting here. They know more than about how to gather information from the satellites. For example, if I want to know about the biomass, and then again, you can gather that information from the satellite. I will quote here again another example from the Swedish University, that is CropSat. So here is example of CropSat. You will mark the area, and then afterward, you got the information from that area about how the crop is behaving under the stress, under the irrigation, or under the fertilization. Then this is the graph we generated based upon the predicted dry matter yield versus dry matter actual yield. And you can see that there was a close association with the prediction as well as the actual. Then you can use drone technology, which people here in ARID are already using. So you can use these drones to get the image of your ground. and then based on that image, you can use that information for the different kind of answers to the different kind of the problems. So it means this field phenomena bring opportunities for the accelerated production. But for that, we need to have the data bank. For that, we need to have the proper database. Like we got the database here, but for the agriculture student, like already Das, Director Advanced Study mentioned about the database generation, but we need to have that database for the agriculture research. If we got the data, if someone is collecting data about the intercropping in the coon farm, that how that data can go to the database. If we can have that kind of the database, then ultimately we can share that database with the different kind of the people, and that person or personalities can ultimately use that database to have the meaningful answers. So here I will quote one example of the phenotyping for the drought resistance. And yesterday, the student presented his PhD defense. I hope he's sitting here. So I will also recommend Director Advanced Study to take such kind of brilliant student to allow them to present their findings, because he did a wonderful job yesterday. So you can use this phenotyping for the drought resistance, and the article is already available there in Science of the Total Environment. Then again, I will not repeat here like how you can gather the information from the top canopy of the plant, from inside the plant, because the aerial temperature is different, canopy temperature is different, plant inside temperature is different, soil temperature is different. So how you can gather that data, you can use that data to have the meaningful answers. So it means next generation artificial intelligence is very important for all, and especially for the agriculture students. They need to know about this next generation artificial intelligence. They need to learn about these techniques, and they need to be expert about these techniques. Because I'm also a student from the Arid Agriculture University, and I learned from my professor, and then ultimately I got this information from across the globe. So it's not like you can't gather information. You can take this information by your own if you have will, if you have power. So you can do this by your own also, because now nobody can control this knowledge hub. Again, another example, that next generation artificial intelligence, more knowledge from smaller data sets. Like this is one example, like seedling, and from that seedling, how much like picture you can have and how many data sets you can generate from this image. So again, next generation artificial intelligence is explainable artificial intelligence. That is a good system that can able to both reason and explain their behavior and decisions to researchers and human users. Then we need to connect the different stakeholders. That's also needed, because for the good outcomes from the artificial intelligence, we need to connect different people. It can't be solo flight. Nobody can do this task lonely. Everybody should be connected, and for the connection, we need to have the collaboration with the different stakeholders. So based upon this artificial intelligence, based upon this digital agriculture, this will be the future of our farming, and this will be the pathway for the traditional farming to the smart farming. And I think already it has been started here in Arid Agriculture University. So then we need to cultivate the next generation of bio-entrepreneurial minds. We need to tell everybody. We need not to hide the knowledge. We need to take everybody with us. We need to push everybody, and we need to connect each and everybody, not only one person. If we have this kind of strategies, then ultimately we can have the good information, and we can bring our country to the higher level, same like other part of the world. But the thing is, we need to have the connection with everybody. So at the end, I will conclude with some remarks like, of course, genomics is fascinating, but we need to focus on the phenomics or the phenotyping also. And we need to fund for the undergraduates, graduates, and researchers to be trained in computational thinking that will advance our ability to obtain, analyze, and utilize large-scale phenomics data. Then I will also present my book. It's recently published. If someone is interested, they can contact me. I can share. It's about the system modeling. And I'm also interested to present this as a gift to the worthy Vice Chancellor so that he can read this book. So it's about, again, system modeling. And then at the last, I thank you to all, as well as the DOS, who has initiated this very important step to transfer the knowledge from the researcher to the ground level. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Saab, for a smart and highly intellectual presentation. Now I request Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Dr. Tasawwur Riyad, for sharing views about the discipline of TES Event Calendar 2021.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, it is really a pleasure and honor to be here and to spend few moments with you on behalf of the Pakistan Academy of Sciences. So first of all, I would like to thank you all. And let me take this opportunity, first of all, to thank you, Professor Kamruzaman Saab, who is Worthy Vice Chancellor of this university. And this is my second meeting with you, sir. The first meeting I came over here just as a representative of the Higher Education Commission for the Senate meeting. That was the first meeting with me with VC Saab. And just a few days back, Dr. Ramzan Saab, who is the director of for the advanced studies, called me and asked just to visit our university. So wholeheartedly I accepted it. And it is really an honor that we should share what we had in our mind, what we have, and sure it is a common effort for our esteemed profession and the noble cause of our beloved nation. So I have so many things to say, but really I could not understand what to say over here. But at this event, I would not take too much time, but during the session of the Dr. Saab and another colleague, Dr. Mushtaq Saab. Yeah, sir. Really, I was going to think that I should speak also about certain things regarding the artificial intelligence and the environments and according to the specialization of your university. No doubt, I am basically from mathematics, but I am moving through different topics through interdisciplinary mathematics. So if you would like to see, I have my few humble contribution regarding the climate change, energy resource, wastewater treatment, carbon dating, and also a few papers in artificial intelligence, data science, and machine learning and something like that. So, no doubt, there is no need to say everybody knows that we have to do a lot for this nation. Still, we are crashing. Few steps that has been taken, and I listened to the speech of Dr. Ramzan Saab under the Vice Chancellorship of Professor Kamruzaman Saab. Those are appreciated. No doubt we have to start from somewhere, but that's not only this. And even we have to do a lot. And every nation can be built through the refinement. I just believe that knowledge always comes through training and wisdom through experience. So nobody can deny about this. So along with it, just I would like to say over here, whenever we are talking about the quality, there is just a very simple word about the quality, but behind it strengthens a lot. We are talking sometimes in terms of the quality, but the common cause question that comes to every mind is that how we can achieve the quality. Sure, in every field, to achieve it, it is a daunting task. So I must believe that although this is a nice topic to be sometimes later, but I believe that always keep in mind that first of all, we have to set the targets. And we should rely that we have to work in this environment. If we are going to say that we have been provided the environment of the Stanford or MIT and then we have to start the work, then perhaps it is the era, I do not know, we would be alive or not. So with the passage of the time and through the refinement of the minds, I am quite confident in saying that a situation or the time will come when we will be approaching not Stanford, not MIT, but at least close to what the other institutions are expecting. So along with it, we must own our responsibilities first and then expect from the others. So it is quite important for all of us that in having the quality, it is not only due to the one-man show. Whenever we are talking, although there are too many policies, and I believe that always there is no policy in this Pakistan which is less than the first world. Either you can talk about the USA, UK, or even in the neighbor, just like China. But where is the problem? Problem is just like about the implementation. Whenever there is a time of the implementation, then basically we lax. And we are moving not exactly what has been planned. So always, whenever we are planning, then there are the four important pillars, according to me. Either you would agree or disagree. But just like through the four pillars, one can easily make the success in achieving equality, not exactly, but at least up to certain approximation. What are those? The first of all, always what are the targets? And then what are the plans to implement those targets? How these can be implemented? That is doable. And the fourth, which is most important and always we lax, is the audit or the check and balance. That never happened. And most of the time we are lagging behind because of that, until we are not able to make the audit, neither at the institution level, but even individually too, we cannot be successful in life. So that is quite important. We have to audit ourselves also. And most of the time I have seen, and through the discussion of the friends and colleagues, that it is perhaps the responsibility only the vice chancellor that has to achieve everything for these institutions. Now, it is a teamwork. No doubt, vice chancellor must provide the environment that is feasible for the research. Transparency, which is most important. Encouragement, development of infrastructure, least discouragement. So these are few steps that has been taken by the high-ups in order to have the pleasant environment at the institution. But along with that, the common responsibility in terms of the teachers, researchers, students, and the administrative staff would lead the institutions quite high. If everyone feels that what are my responsibilities, and I have to, in what way I have to own those. And if I am able to make the audit for myself, then perhaps these any objective can be achieved in a short span of the time and with the less resources also. There are certain steps that even do not involve so huge funding, which is the crisis, unfortunate in our country. In comparison to the other countries, if we are going to think what they are spending over there, But even there are so many steps that can be easily implemented without finance and without any difficulty. But the question is that either we smoothly implemented those or not. The answer is no. So we have to pinpoint those and share the in that direction that I am talking over here. Perhaps your step towards the calendar is a good step. Even in the first meeting when I came over here, during the discussion, I even at that time requested to the Bharti Vice Chancellor that I think first of all we should have a clear calendar for the year, because then everybody must know that how we can implement. Because about the calendar, I do not say that that is only relevant about the academic calendar, because about the academic calendar, everyone knows when this semester starts, when this semester would finish, this and that, session like terminals. But even we have to go through the administrative calendar too. For example, let me give you this few examples over here in our society. Let us talk about the selection board. Sometimes people are not going to understand, or they are not clear that at what time there would be selection board in this year. And most of the time we are against each other. I hope that my colleagues would not mind that I can speak bluntly about these things. Because if we have the calendar that at least what we have seen, and in universities where we have implemented those, we have seen that various issues have been resolved. Because when everybody knows that up to this date of this month, there would be selection board. So there is no one now. All the cases who have been completed there, either he or she, so that has to be placed over there without biasing and without favoritism. And even that would lead to the pleasant environment at the university level. So these are the minor steps, but this means a lot. So we have to cater those. And I hope that Professor Kamruzaman would further refine, along with this academic calendar. I would like to request that, sir, just launch the administrative calendar. And if you need my help, then it is not the task. It is just the task of the 10 minutes. Just make it and notify it. So in this way, for example, about the administrative calendar, what we are going to mention is the syndicate meetings, 3 or 4 per year. Selection board, maybe 3, maybe 4. Similarly, Finance and Planning Committee, Advanced Study and Research Board, DPCs. These are the few important meetings all the year. And we have to mention the clear-cut dates so that various issues have been resolved. Next, Mukhtar Saab, just I was really enjoying your talk. But the part that is missed over here, that was just the comparative study. And we must mention, and that is very good for the encouragement, especially for the young minds, that they can easily have a comparison that in every field where we are and where the world is. That is quite important always. So I would request whenever you have the opportunity to speak or speak at the forum, then always try to hit that point too. Let me point it out that you mentioned about the genomics. So I visited Beijing Institute of Genomics 2-3 times. And what I have seen that from the single institute, they are publishing over 70 research papers in Nature in a year from the single institute. So we have to think what are the fragments. Although we cannot publish 70, but at least we have to think what is the reason why we are not publishing, or what steps must be taken so that at that, although we cannot publish at that part, but at least we have to start somewhere. So try to hit your center of excellences and the institutes in your university, which can lead and keep the flag of this university high. I am confident that many of my respectable colleagues, they can do but environment, encouragement, and the better infrastructure is quite necessary, and continuous efforts for the sustainability can lead in that direction too. Let me go in that direction too. Yesterday, sir, Pakistan government, through the platform of PAS, is now going to develop a huge center naming CJPERG, costing 10 billion. In terms of, I hope that the various specialties through your university, just like that, climate change, energy resources, environment, wastewater treatment, minerals, glaciology, agriculture is also into it. So basically, that all fields have been covered through that center. No doubt that has been placed and decided to place it in Qaeda-e-Azam University, because Qaeda-e-Azam University is going to have 50-acre land for it. But it would be just like the center of excellence for all the Pakistanis. And in the PCs, what has been required over there, that labs will be connected, and it would act as a center of excellence for the whole country, not for only the Qaeda University, because the equipment are which is not available in other universities. The researchers from other universities can also use that, and that is the huge funding. Out of this 10 billion, only Pakistan is contributing 2 billion rupees. So the Pakistan Academy of Sciences, the rest 8 billion is coming from China. So that would be the huge activity, and I am sure that even if you people are not getting any such research equipment or something like that, so hope that that would be very good opportunity for all of you, just in the neighbor to use it, because Qaeda University is not far from this place. So along with that, secondly, sir, what I would like to request you as the Secretary General of the Pakistan Academy of Sciences, we have huge opportunity now through MOU signed between the Pakistan Academy of Sciences and the Chinese Academy of Sciences for the human resource development. So I would request you for your research students and especially the faculty who are non-PhDs here, just give us the names. So we would try to arrange the PhD scholarships for the postdocs and just for the PhD degrees for them through the platform of the Pakistan. Although I did not receive a single application from the general, but from other universities, we recommended 37 graduates for the PhD degrees through MOUs between the Pakistan Academy of Sciences and Chinese Academy of Sciences. So I am confident that in future, we have another program that is also a sub-branch of the Chinese Academy of Sciences called ANSO, that is also operates under the umbrella of the Chinese Academy of Sciences. We also have already signed MOU. And if anybody is still interested, I am quite confident that you can send us just 5 names for the PhD scholarships. So we can ship you one now because the last date is still there. So these are, anything or any steps that you acquired for the betterment of this institution from the past. So we are ready, sir, with you. And I hope that with the mutual cooperation between the PAS and this university, we can define and struggle for the better achievement of our faculty and as well as the research students. So these are few words in the end, although time is very short, otherwise I can speak too much. So what I would like to say over here is that in the end, I would like to thank you all for being with us, and I am really honored, sir, you have given me the opportunity to talk. And I hope that sometime I would like you to give the technical talk too, because I enjoy that much, either on the artificial intelligence or some field in the environments or whatsoever using mathematics. But just keep in mind that no academic project can be achieved without the continuous efforts of the young minds. So the young minds must own their responsibilities, and they can refine the situation according to the vision of our guide. And I am confident that until you can see, even in the neighborhood or something like that, if you would like to see over there, if you would like to go to the net and see what is happening, why we are not talking about US, we are not talking about UK, not about Germany, just we can talk about our neighbors, what Chinese are doing and how they are implementing their plans, what they are expecting and what they did in the past. So I can say in certain fields, I was seeing the highly cited researchers list in material science, in environment, and energy, in mathematics. More than 70% in each categories are from China. So I do not know what they are doing, but what they have the result, that is quite clear. And they are going to be evaluated through the same parameters as a scientist is going to be evaluated either in Stanford or MIT. So along with that, thank you very much, sir, and goodbye.
Thank you, sir, for a comprehensive discussion. Now I request Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Kamar Sima, for concluding remarks.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Dr. Tasawwur Riyad, Professor, Qaid-e-Azam University, Director Advanced Studies, Dr. Ghazala Kokab, Director Biotechnology Institute, Biotechnology and Biochemistry, and Chair of Graduate Students Committee, Deans, Directors, faculty and students. Today, I am very much, excited and then enthusiastic that after our almost more than a year struggle, ultimately we have a yearly calendar from Directorate of Advanced Studies, and very well prepared, and because our graduate student committee and graduate coordinators, supervisors, HODs, deans, all cooperated and helped to develop this excellent plan and program for whole year. And as our chief guest mentioned that we should have this administrative calendar. So registrar and other dean directors are sitting here. So hopefully early next week we will have our that administrative calendar. So we can at least have some plan for whole next year. And I always try to have this mechanism for monitoring and evaluation. As we started, performance evaluation. So those director QEC and the committee constituted for that faculty performance evaluation has been working hard and reminding us like the Tablighi Jamaat. So we have to do this at this time. But we several times discussed and really the one thing when we met with Dr. Tasawwur Hayat the first time, so that we had that difficulty and challenge for TTS appointments in HEC delays there, and then I was worried about the mechanism. So HEC nominated and Dr. Saab came, and then I learned from our colleagues there that they have Halal Imtiaz, Tara Imtiaz, Tamga Imtiaz, and published a lot in prestigious scientific journals. And you know, in those journals, not like easy to publish, but he published a lot and supervised and has been supervising students, many students. And then second time we met in Faisalabad, and now I think 3 days before, and a team, senior team from Academy of Sciences, and our ex-vice chancellor, Dr. Khalid Mahmood Khan, invited us there in Faisalabad. We were there, so I learned more. So then I started thinking, and very few people have that success story in the same environment where we have many challenges, more than lot more than developed countries. But in same environment, he established he's well known now in all over the world. So, and I just when we were coming here, so I asked Dr. Savar Saab that I think 6 months from a year, half of the year. So he has been going in globally in different universities as keynote speaker, resource person, technical expert. So and then he mentioned that sometimes in one day 2 flights, came back with 1 flight and then flew again. So very busy and extremely busy. So, but for that, those kind of things, you need time for preparation. So, we have success stories, and I will request Dr. Savariyat not only technical session, one session, but maybe series of lectures and about those success stories. Those will be motivational lectures for all of us, especially young, our faculty and graduate students. So I always say that every student is an institution. So we have to train them, because that, as I mentioned, the capacity building. And thank you very much for offering that opportunity for PhD, postdoc, and graduate students scholarships. That's again an excellent opportunity. So there are challenges, but more challenges, more opportunities. But we have to work for that. Now our teams are ready. So we have Dr. Mukhtar Ahmad. He mentioned, if we have, there is no if now, if but. We have a precision agriculture program. We are collaborating with Sparco, and now. And we have mega project, and I think that will be again, that first university has that precision agriculture, that program here. And then the first university will collaborate with Pakistan Air Force and civil military, that collaboration. And the PC1 is ready. And again, now future of agriculture is in automation. That is called precision agriculture. So now that we started meetings that agronomy department and horticulture or pathology, because those are our major departments, but the supporting with department. So they are meeting with the geoinformatics, IT colleagues here, and engineering, and then social scientists, all to deliver lectures there, and next semester, and at least one course introduced in all those departments, and then the applied side. So we had I think 3 meetings with all departments, federal and government, those agriculture departments. Our students will go there for internship, and we identified some farmers, industry people. So our students will go there. So side by side, scientific publications, and then the most important is I would like to request all our supervisors here and colleagues, please, this traditional way we have to change. 2 lectures, 1 or 2 student supervision and go home. integrated approach. And we constituted, I think, 6-7 research groups. And all our supporting departments, colleagues are in those groups, and from agriculture departments. So, and secondly, so that tradition, so professors normally don't go to the field. So with the students, so please go with them, and the reliable data collection is very important. Then data management, gleaning, organizing, and display in a manner so end user can use that. And secondly, we can publish in prestigious scientific journal, as Dr. Savar has been publishing a lot. So that should be our objective. And students, when the professor is working in the field himself, a student automatically will go and work. So we need to prepare ourselves first, then train our students accordingly. So and I would like to thank our Directorate of Advanced Studies who took the lead, and I expect that from all our faculty and then administration, so we have that our next year plan, you can say calendar or plan, so date wise. So, and we will share, and infrastructure, we have, I think prayer was there, so allocated 20 million for repair and maintenance of our equipment. So, and Director QEC is in charge of that committee, but he has been contacting for repair maintenance of our equipment in the labs. And those new labs, ISO certified lab for industrial biotechnology, that mega project, precision agriculture technology, and then this livestock genomics, those sophisticated labs, this works have been started there at Rabat. So, and we will have all those sophisticated labs in 1 year. And again, for research purposes, and Director Orek introduced several programs. So, for quality or innovative research. But this all, we need your support, dedication, and hard work. And that 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, so that's, we are not civil servants, we are researchers. We sometimes these groups, and working, I'm directly working with them. So we, and Director Planning is sitting here. So we, sometimes if somebody's phone was not working, we requested security person to go and ask him to be on your laptop or through Zoom. We developed that PC1 and approved in this Corona, this last 1 year when COVID-19 started. After that, we went to that planning commission meetings, we went to HEC in person, very risky, but with all those SOPs. And Alhamdulillah, we have 3 mega projects, billions of rupees, and work has been started. So opportunities are there, infrastructure is there, money is there. So we need your support now. And please, and this is the chance now. In 2 years, our university will be leading agriculture universities in not in this only Pakistan, maybe in neighboring countries too, with those all sophisticated labs, innovative those technologies, and with the expert those subject specialists, and we are recruiting those SSO. SOs and research associate research with those advanced degrees from different foreign universities, all on merit. So inshallah, in 2 years we will lead in agriculture sector. So again, I am very thankful, and again we will request Dr. Savar for more his motivational and technical sessions. And thanks again.
मैं मोहतरम रईस जामिया से गुजारिश करता हूँ कि मेहमान खसूसी को यूनिवर्सिटी का सवीनियर पेश करें। मैं मोहतरम डॉक्टर तसव्वुर रियाज साहब से गुजारिश करता हूँ कि वो मोहतरम वाइस चांसलर साहब से यूनिवर्सिटी का सवीनियर रिसीव करें। थैंक यू सर। अब मैं डॉक्टर मुख्तार अहमद साहब से गुजारिश करता हूँ कि वो भी अपना सवीनियर रिसीव करें। अब मैं डॉक्टर मोहम्मद आदम खान से गुजारिश करता हूँ कि आप भी अपनी शीट रिसीव करें। थैंक यू सो मच सर। अब तमाम रिस्पेक्टेड फैकल्टी मेंबरान से गुजारिश है कि लेफ्ट साइड पे रिफ्रेशमेंट का इंतजाम किया गया है, आप उसमें शरीक हों। थैंक यू सो मच।
एक मिनट।